To start off 2022 with a banger, DC released the Batman. It was pretty anticipated. It was my most anticipated movie of the year. Uh, I know people were kind of iffy on the casting choice and the fact that it's not really an origin story, but it's
Do you
it's
stand behind that?
yeah. I stand behind Robert. He's a great actor. The thing about people, it's like when you play one role and that's what you're most famous for, it's hard to like break out of that. But every other movie I've seen Robin, he's killed it. Like
Yeah.
every single other one. So it's not like he's a bad actor. I feel like it was the writing that made him look bad, not like his acting abilities. Like, you know what I mean?
Honestly, I do a lot of I like looking up actors and interviews and shit. And when he did the Twilight movies, he said a lot of it like he didn't even like it.
He
Like a
didn't
lot
fuck
of
with it at all. Yeah.
yeah, like he said he would try something and then like the directors would roast him. Like he wanted to make it kind of a little bit more darker,
Yeah.
but directors would roast him like, nah, just stick to the script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I did watch another interview. He pretty much said like those movies were the reasons why he started doing a lot of like small movies because like he didn't like the fact that like the fan base was OD like and he really wasn't like able to like flex his acting chops and abilities and shit. So it's like it's like a gift and a curse. Like he's famous for it, but that's not something he wants to be famous for. At the same
Nah, yeah,
time.
that's 100%. Yeah, he was saying that that's kind of jump started his career like a lot, but like he didn't really like those movies, but that he loves them because what it did for him basically.
Which makes sense. But yeah, so people don't like retreading the whole Marth like Bruce's parents dying and all that shit. I would I'm not comparing these movies tonally. I'm just comparing these movies in the way how they're not origin stories. I would compare this movie to like Spider-Man: Homecoming, how they just skip over the intro and they're just starting off like 2 years in type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I feel like is dope because it's like the directors trusting the audience to already know what's up with him. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of
I can't
rehashing the
hold you
same
too.
shit.
I can't hold you. This actually felt like an origin story though. To me, it
It's
felt
his
like
origin. It's not
yeah.
like Batman's origins. It's like his specific origin. Like, you know what I mean? Which is
But when I like compare it to Kristen Bell, how like it shows you him training and everything. I felt like Kristen Bell felt like a more of a experienced Batman than this one,
yeah.
which is why I feel like this one felt like more of a of an origin story because it's like damn, this is like the beginning of when he started. You know what I mean? Even though Kristen Bell was like the beginning of him starting as the Batman, it felt like when he first started as being a Batman, he was already like
Yeah.
fully the Batman. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we'll dive more deep into that. So yeah, so the Batman release, we saw it. I saw it twice. You know what time it is. I have to represent, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got one, bro. I was salty that they didn't have that, bro. Where
Yes,
we went.
sir. Feel me? I'm vengeance, my nigga. Fuck is you on? So yeah. Without spoiling anything, just your thoughts on the movie. Would you recommend it? Yada yada yada. Did you like it?
Yeah, I 100% liked it. It was it it didn't feel like a Batman movie at times, but and then there was like mere seconds where like mere scenes like that it felt like a Batman movie. But I still liked the movie. It was like even if it wasn't a Batman movie, I thought it was a great movie. I
Hold
think
on,
of it.
not to cut you off, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Overall, the film was great. Like it has nothing to do with like the fact that it's a Batman movie. It's just like visually and storyline wise, like it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a
You know what
good
I mean?
movie. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Yeah.
Cause I can see someone saying like, "Yo," I can see someone watching the movie and saying, "Yo, this ain't even Batman." You know what I mean? But it's still a good movie regardless. What about you? What
Yeah.
you think?
So yeah. So first time I seen this movie, usually whenever I watch a movie that I'm anticipating, the first time I see it, I instantly get whether I like it or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's probably controversial or whatever, but when I first saw Black Panther, I didn't like it. But I don't know whether it was like the expectations, like, or like, I don't know if I didn't want it to be like another Marvel movie, which it ended up being like, but I can't fault them for doing that. Like, of course, it has to like kind of make sense. So, I when I watched it the second time, I kind of like let loose of my expectations, and I kind of felt like I did the same thing with this, except for it was kind of the opposite. Where the first time I seen it, I loved it, and then the second time I seen it, I still loved it, but I could see some of the issues that other people were talking about. But overall, I still feel like this is probably the best Batman we've ever seen. Like, for like, and for anybody who disagrees, like, you're dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this, like, so for the people who are comparing it to Christian Bale, it's like those are two completely different things. Like, this Batman, I could see him in the universe with other superheroes. I can't see not Ben Affleck. I can't see Christian Bale like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't see Christian Bale fighting somebody with powers. I could see this Robert Pattinson fighting somebody with powers and it still be believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like the director.
Why is that though?
So I'll explain it. So like the director said he would be interested in doing Mr. Freeze. I could see this version. I could see Robert fighting Mr. Freeze, but I couldn't see Christian Bale fighting Mr. Freeze. Does that make sense? Like, so specifically with this version is because I feel like just like how you said when Christian Bale first started, it already felt like he was like top tier, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I don't know if I'm remembering the movies right, but I know when before he got the suit, yeah, he was fucking up. But the second he got the suit, it was up for everybody. He was instantly a ninja, instantly all that type of time. Like with this dude, it's been 2 years, and he even says it in the beginning. He said, "It's been 2 years since I've been doing this, and crime has risen. Everything has risen." It's like he's doing it from a completely fucked up perspective. So it's a little bit more It's crazy how I could say this is more grounded than Christian Bale's, but it still feels more grounded because it feels like this is a real person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With Christian Bale's, it feels like this is like kind of fantasy. Like you know, he went to like a hidden ninja temple. Like he went through all this other shit. It's like that didn't feel real to me personally. Of course, when I was younger, I accepted it for what it was, but this feels like way more realistic in the tone, in the way it was like cinematography wise, and the way he portrays Bruce Wayne. Like he's not gonna be that playboy until further on. Like he's not gonna see why that's important. You know what I mean? So yeah. I know a lot of people had issues like, oh, he was just being Batman the whole time. He never really did the Bruce Wayne thing. And it's like, bro, Bruce Wayne's fucking crazy. Like, he's not like a regular nigga. Like, he's not gonna like just forget that his parents died. Like, he's going to want to be Batman. He's gonna have, like, you know what I mean? Like the whole time. So yeah, so with like everything, all that combined, and especially Matt Reeves, like one of the greatest directors right now. Like, bro, it's just like it just felt like not perfect, but it felt like the best we've gotten so far. Yeah, in my opinion. But
I was when I was watching the movie, I was kind of thinking like, yo, it's like when I read Batman, there was this comic I read about Batman, about Bruce Wayne when it was like Batman year one when he first started. It kind of gave those vibes, but Bruce Wayne is like, I feel like Bruce Wayne is Batman, like all the time. Like when you read the comic books, like just because he puts on the suit, he's the same person. That's what I feel like. I don't feel like there's a difference, so I don't know why everyone's getting frustrated when they say like, oh, we didn't see enough of Bruce Wayne. I'm like, Bruce Wayne is not really like a playboy, honestly. Like when you read the comics, bro, he's dark the whole time.
So you know what I mean? Yeah, so the perspective they're seeing it is is in the older movies and with Christian Bale. It's like, and I guess in some in the cartoons or whatever, when he goes out in public, he puts on this persona just so like people don't really suspect that it's him. But it's
Yeah.
like in all reality, like if somebody is like mentally ill, like they're not gonna be able to always mask their emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for him, where it's like he just started doing this shit, so he can't. It's like even before he became Batman, he wasn't a playboy, so he can't just become that like instantly off rip. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of like a stretch. Like it's people just comparing the two. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's 100% right, bro. Like, cause like when you really think about it, if you're just starting off, like, and you see, and he even tells you that he's still learning in the movie, kind of. Like, there's scenes in the movies like, oh, I have to become this, I have to become that, because he's realizing like the way how he's doing it's not perfect. So like you can even tell like in the movie like he's still learning, which actually happens in the comic books too. Like in some of the versions of the comic books, he'll be like, damn, I did this wrong, I should have did this. You know what I mean? And that's how he becomes a better hero.
And I feel like in most of the media we have of Batman, it's a small percentage of it where it's like him in his early days. So most of it is him like farther in the future. So of course he's like perfect, which like, you know, it makes sense. It's like most of the shit we see Batman and he's already in the Justice League. He's already that nigga. Like he's already like, but like seeing him stumble and like even like the fight scenes in this, like you see him get fucked up. Like you see him get shot and him feel it. Like, but him just pushing through. Like it's just all those little things. Like I feel like was missing in the Christian Bale Batman. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like he's in this movie it showed that he was intelligent?
I would say more. Like it's way more than any other Batman we've seen. Like
yeah,
he was the one doing he saw other than like I would say intelligence is high, but his detective skills were showing out more here, but he was still fucking up, which shows a more human side. Like he throughout this whole movie, the Riddler had this nigga in his palm until the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was fucking up a lot in this movie. So it's like,
honestly, I think he lost.
Yeah, I think he lost. He lost. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But like he needed just like, which that's why I love this movie. It's like the end quote makes so much sense. It's like he lost, but he has to learn from his mistakes. Like the second now that he's learning from this mistake, he won't face the same outcomes as this. Like the whole city is underwater now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which is like you lost, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like, Riddler won.
Yeah.
He proved everything Riddler wanted to do to prove he did. Like he proved that Gotham wasn't shit. He proved that the police aren't shit. He proved all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like he won. Like, so it's like it's dope to see that versus the other way around. In every other movie, it seems like Batman wins.
So do you like this? Because I know you know like more about the Riddler. I don't really know much about the Riddler. Did you like this version of the Riddler? Like, was it like a believable version of him?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, like, cause I know people instantly think of what's it called? Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and like that was cool for the time, but like that doesn't work now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, my favorite version of the Riddler was on I think it was the 2004 the Batman series, where they I feel like this is the most closest to it, because it was like he was like a mastermind, like on some jigsaw shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this one, it seems like it was more like school shootery, like he was live streaming his shit, like his kills and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like this one, in my opinion, makes more sense. Like I highly enjoyed this Riddler. I highly enjoyed the actor who played him. Like everything about him just worked for me. Like it made sense that that he would turn out this way. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which I understand too, because like when I watch the movie and when I think of the Riddler, I don't think of the Riddler as what we see in this movie, because I'm used to seeing like the only thing I know about the Riddler is like what I see in the cartoons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the cartoons, he's sort of like this light-hearted, like jokey person, and he's evil at the same time, of course. But in this one, he's really dark. In this one, he's really serious. I felt like
it's the Zodiac killer.
Yeah. Even though he does jokes, but the jokes are serious jokes at the same time. You know what I mean?
Like it's a joking way. Like I'm smarter than you. Like he's laughing at you, not with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like the best way I could compare this Riddler is how Heath Ledger did the Joker.
Yeah.
Like the Joker, they're very the Joker from Heath Ledger to like the way he usually is. It's very similar, but it's brought into reality where I could see that person really here. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody really breaking and acting out like that. Like it's literally the same with the Riddler. Like it's funny how like the Riddler and Batman are literally the same person. Like they both went through trauma and one went left and one went right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why throughout this whole film, like you find out that the Riddler thought that Batman was his boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they thought like you thought like, bro, like what? You're not happy that we're doing the same thing. Like except for Batman was doing it to criminals and he was doing it to criminals as well, but it was people higher up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and he was willing to pass the line that Batman wasn't.
Exactly. Like he's literally Batman, but if Batman went after like political figures. So this movie was just fucking great, bro. There's a lot of let's just dive deeper into the plot and shit. So there's a lot of things in this film that I feel like people kind of like a lot of things I've seen that people are talking about in this movie is that yes, the detective thing was a big aspect, but they still felt like it wasn't enough. But I feel like personally, like a lot of the things that they showed in this film, like the police had no idea what was going on. Batman was the one who was figuring a lot of the shit out himself. Which I feel like that's what Batman is. He's the person that's kind of like above people, like where he's like, I'm looking at this at a whole different perspective. Like, you know what I mean?
Honestly, too, when I was watching the movie, even though he didn't say much, you can tell that he knew a lot more than he let on to say. Even in the movie, like I feel like there's still things in the movie because I only watched it once. I feel like there's some things in the movie that he noticed that I still don't even know right now. Like I'm like, yo, the way he's looking at this thing and the way he's looking at that, I'm like, what is he thinking? You don't even know what he's thinking, but that's the vibe that you always get from Batman. And then usually by the end of the movie, you usually figure out what he was thinking the whole time. You know what I mean?
So
I feel like
So I know this is like a random side note, but as they were releasing this film, they were dropping little riddles for people to solve. So like people like remember how at the end of the movie they flash like this URL? Like, you could literally go there, and it'll drop riddles, and if you figure them out, it'll give you little Easter eggs for the film. So people once and then the URL at the end of the film gave the people the final answer to the riddles, and it was something like it was something like, yo, this is just the beginning or something like that. Like it was something crazy where it was like they were even letting stepping away from this film, they were even letting fans jump into the detective aspect of like this film, which I feel like it just goes farther than what it needed to be for this movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like they literally came up with what's it called? Those like codes for people to figure out. Like they came up with their own code, like like in the film, like in this universe. Like it's just like I feel like there's so many layers to this film. Like it's kind of like scary. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the director, bro. He's
some Easter eggs, bro, like that they were saying, but I did not. I tell you, I did not see this nigga.
Of course,
I did not see. I did not see him.
Yeah. So, and I remember when we got the movie, you were like, "How did he? Like, how is the Riddler connected to like Batman?" And then when I sent you that Easter egg video, it explains like he was one of the orphans. Like one of the orphans that needed that money to get out of that situation, and they never got that money. Like, you know what I mean? That's just like all that shit is just this movie is fucking crazy, man. Like it's crazy. All right, so yeah, let's just go through what are 2 aspects you like and then 2 aspects you didn't like, if you have any.
So 2 aspects I didn't like. I'm trying to think, because I haven't really thought about what I haven't liked about the movie, because the movie was really good. But I'm sure there's something there, but
nothing. Let me just like think of. I'll just go then, and then you can just spitball after me.
Okay.
So I would say the only like one of the things that popped up was I did feel like there were they could have probably chopped off a couple minutes of this movie. I do feel like there were scenes that were a little slower, but I do feel like they were slow for a reason, but I just feel like it wasn't justified. Like they still could have chopped down a couple minutes, like, you know what I mean? Like I said, and then for my second dislike, I would probably say damn, it's hard. I'm thinking because I really like this movie. Like, this is one of my favorite movies in a while. Like, I haven't went to a movie and like my jaw was dropped like for a majority of it. Like, it was actually kind of crazy. Like, it felt kind of surreal. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe another dislike I think was, I feel like they held off on the Riddler for a little too long. Like, yeah, he was the main pushing part of the film, but I feel like we literally saw the Riddler's face at the end of the movie. Like, we never really got more into his personality, character. Like, you know what I mean?
That's funny. I was thinking that. I was like, the only thing I could possibly think of is he wasn't present enough in the movie.
Yeah, even though he was the main pushing point of the plot. Like, that's the reason why Batman was doing what he was doing. But it just still feels like for a villain, I feel like you have to be there just a little bit more, especially for a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, I was feeling like Penguin was shining a little bit in that movie.
Exactly. Penguin was shining in that bitch. I fuck with Penguin heavy, like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they wanted him to be the main villain to a degree. But I also enjoyed it because it wasn't like, I feel like every other superhero film, it's just the main villain. Him fighting the main villain and a whole bunch of random goons. Like with this, it felt like, so there was Riddler, there was Falcone, there was the police department, like everybody versus each other. Like, you know what I mean? It felt like a lived-in world. Like you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things that I appreciate most about this film. It felt like when the ending happened, where he was like, pretty much like the floodgates are open. Like anybody could. Since Falcone died, like anybody's gonna try to reach that power. So we throughout this film we get to see some of the key players, like Penguin and like Joker, kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like, we saw some of the major players who have the potential to take that spot, like, you know what I mean? Which I feel like is dope.
Honestly, too, like based off like the comic book, I'm reading the War Games comics. So the idea of like of Batman trying to put a stop to like unorganized crime and shit like that. So this kind of felt like this movie felt like the comic I'm reading right now.
Yeah.
And when I watch this movie, I can see the potential like of how far it can go. Like remember how we were talking about like, oh, like it's just the beginning of the movie, and how I was saying like I want them to be like side characters like the Robin and Batwoman and This movie, bro, watching this movie, I felt like it has the potential to be that.
Literally, it was like the platform for everything else to jump off of. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, like.
And that's one thing that I like about this movie. And then the second thing I like about this movie, and I kind of feel the same way about the Joker, the Joker movie that came out. Is like it felt believable. I felt like, yo, if Batman was actually like doing shit in real life, this is how it would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like one of my favorite aspects of this film was how the director used like lighting, used darkness and sounds to duplicate like fear, like what it is to be scared in this film. Like the first couple minutes, bro, felt like a horror film.
Yeah.
Which was like, it threw me off. Like, I remember sitting down in the theater and then like, it just pops up, the Batman. It says like, there's no intro, there's no like, it just says the Batman. And like, what type, like what? Why did it start like that? And then it literally starts from the perspective of the villain, like showing, like in my head, the second I see a little kid and a father, I instantly think of like Bruce Wayne. I was like, oh, so they're gonna show the origin story.
Yeah.
It wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. The Riddler casing out the joint, and like, bro, it was just like, it was crazy.
But I was confused. At first, I was like, is this Batman looking at this family? Is this the only time when I started realizing it was the Riddler is when the breathing kept on going. I was like, oh, this is a bad nigga.
Yeah, so like it was just, and then this is like he was standing there, then he just moved away, and the nigga was behind him. I was just like, yo, this is fucking crazy, bro. Like, when I talked about like the depths. So like the fact that the director used inspiration from like the Zodiac Killer and like the movie Seven and shit, like how the Riddler wears his mask and then he has his glasses over it. That's what the Zodiac Killer used to do. Like he used to wear a mask and then put his glasses over it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's all those little, and then like his little scream, ah! fucks him up, and then like this nigga looks like, you can. I was like, yo, this nigga's crazy, yo. Like this nigga's ripping the tape and just like just breathing and shit. Like it's like, yo, this nigga's crazy, bro. Like, like I just love how it jumps off the rip. We instantly see them trying to figure out what's going on. It's crazy. I don't know why the first time I seen this movie, I didn't know that was the mayor. Like, I was like, yo, how did this nigga was able to kill the mayor in his own crib? Like, that's crazy. Like, that shows you, like, Gotham's wild. Like, that nigga pulled up and beat his ass. Like, that shit was crazy, bro. Yeah. Another aspect I loved in this movie was the action. Like, of course, in my personal opinion, the best action scene we've ever seen from Batman was in Batman vs Superman, where Batman was fighting the dudes in the warehouse scene. I was like, that's the closest we've seen like Batman on some Batman Arkham shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way he was fucking those niggas up, it was like it's up for those niggas. Like, so I feel, but now I feel like, of course not, like this film, like he's not like doing the craziest shit, but I feel like the path this nigga's on, like he's gonna be a problem. Like, yo, like, like the way he was taking shotgun shells to the chest and shit, still fighting. Like, yo, if I ever seen a nigga take a shotgun to the chest and still fight, I'm running. Like, what? Like, I'm running, bro. Yeah. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, yo.
Another thing that I like about this movie, it explains you of why like what Batman does kind of works. Like I like the idea how it shows you like how like even though he's one person, he's able to do a lot of things, even not being there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's one thing that I really liked about the movie, because when you really think of like a dude in a suit fighting crime, it's like, yo, there's so much shit going on. Like, how you gonna stop all this? And the way how the movie portrayed it and how you could actually do it is fire to me.
I don't know why, but like throughout my life, I thought them using the bat signal was like Gordon calling Batman for help so he could come and talk to him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the fact that they completely twisted on its head, where the police are using that to scare off criminals, to like use it as like a fear tactic to like, yo, he's out right now. Like, he's here. Like, and everybody in the city, that was the dopest scenes. Like, everybody's fucking people up, fucking robbing banks and shit. Oh shit! Like they all just look up, and the nigga drops his breath. Like, it's that was my favorite part, because like the second they look up, they instantly look like around the corner, and it's just darkness.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, he could be right there, like, right there. And then like the one that like you would assume like, oh, it's just some nigga getting mugged. Like, that's not like Batman will probably pull up on a nigga like trying to rob a store before he pulls up on like a one random nigga, like, and then all you hear is the steps. He's just walking, and it's like it was on some Godzilla shit. Like, they were all like, yo, what the fuck? Which was the even doper part is that like he walks out and they're like, what the like, we're not scared of you, like, it's just one nigga. Yeah. Like, and then he beats the fuck out of all of them. And then like that one nigga, like, he lets that one nigga go, and then that one nigga is gonna explain what the fuck he saw to other people, and then other people are gonna explain it to other people, and that's how the legend starts. Like, yo, he's out there, bro. I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing shit. Like, I'm going to a job, like, I'm going to school, nigga, like, I'm not, like, he's there, bro. Like, yo, just fucking great, bro.
It really does show him, like, when you would tell me like, yo, Batman's like a dark character because he be beating the fuck out of people, bro. This movie really shows that.
I told you.
I was like, damn, this nigga really hurting him, bro. Like, that shit was crazy.
And then like, even on top of that, it's like, of course he's gonna be so brutal to the point now, because it's still early in his career. Like, he's still feeling you could tell he's still feeling like the pain of losing his parents. Like, every time somebody mentions his parents, he just starts twitching. Like, he started like I've noticed it every single time. When I remember he was working on something, and then he heard like in the TV, it's like, oh, this is reminiscent of what happened 20 years ago to like to what happened to Bruce and Thomas and Martha Wayne. This nigga's working, right? And then he hears it, and he's like, yo, like, yo, this nigga's crazy, bro. Like, yo, this nigga's crazy, bro. Like, literally, like, the fact that people they're trying to like, oh no, Batman wouldn't do that. Like, Batman's actually, he wouldn't do that. It was like, nigga, this nigga is crazy. Like, I hope y'all don't forget, like, this nigga's a psychopath. Like,
yeah, he's definitely not mentally stable if you really think about it. Even though he does good things, he's definitely not like mentally stable, because you can tell like
there's no way, bro.
This dude probably only sleeps like 3 hours a day, bro. If you really think about it.
If that. And the funniest part is that niggas still do crime in the morning. Like, niggas, it's not like niggas is like, let's wait until night. Niggas is robbing stores in the morning. Like, fuck. Yeah. So when is he really, really, truly sleeping? Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and then like, yeah, okay. What else? Characters, favorite characters. We said Penguin. We talked about Riddler. Who else? We can talk. What do you think about Catwoman? There's been multiple Catwoman before, like, you know.
Image wise, it looked like a Catwoman. I feel like when I look at the comics that I've read and what I've seen, like the short hair, the tannish skin, it looked more like Catwoman to me than I've ever seen it before. I don't know if Catwoman is Catwoman supposed to be like ethnical or like
honestly, it's just kind of like whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like Bruce Wayne has to be white. Like there's no like, there's no way he's a nigga. Like you know what I mean? Like he's not Latino. Like he's not. Like, he's white. Like that's what it is. But for Catwoman, it's kind of like it could be ambiguous. Like it doesn't really matter what her race is.
Yeah,
Same, like it's the same with a lot of characters like that.
But judging by what I seen, like when she was wearing like regular clothes, or even though like when she was wearing like the when she went to go meet Falcone, what she was wearing then looked like what I've seen in comic books. Yeah. So it looks believable.
What about the actress?
And the actress was pretty. She was pretty good at acting, bro. Like I believed like it was Catwoman when I was watching.
She's bad as hell. I was like, oh, yo, I was this nigga pulling that, like. But yeah. A lot of people said like she was okay. I could see that, but I feel like the thing about people are completely missing about this movie is that nobody in this film is the characters their comic book characters supposed to be. You know what I mean? They're not there yet. None of them. Gordon isn't Commissioner. You know what I mean? Like Batman isn't even Batman. They've only throughout this whole film, they only say the word Batman once.
Yeah.
They call him Vengeance.
Yeah.
Everybody calls him Vengeance, like literally. So he's not even truly Batman. He don't have the whip. Like she's not Catwoman. She's just a girl that like her girlfriend got killed. So like, you know what I mean? They don't even explain how she's so acrobatic and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's like so like she's just like a chick that could fight pretty much. Like, so like Penguin, he's not really like he's not truly Penguin yet. Like the Riddler's still not full. Like he became the Riddler in this movie, but he's still not like crime boss Riddler or something like that. Like same with the Joker. Like that nigga could have just been a crazy nigga who becomes a Joker. Like, you know what I mean? It could just be a regular crazy nigga, like a cook nigga, like just, you know.
Also, what I like about her too is like I feel like those scenes with her in it with Bruce, it kind of showed that Bruce was a human being in a way. You know what I mean? Like he's a regular dude at the same time. Like he can feel like he can feel good. You know what I mean? He can be like a loving person as well. Yeah. Also, it actually shows you like the real life like kind of dynamic when Batman has a partner. Like even though he feels a certain way, he'll operate another way as in how he feels because he knows the opposite way is how he's gonna get the job done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel
like the scene when they were working together and how she was kind of like flirting with him, and then like you could tell he was kind of feeling her, but he was being more serious.
He was like, "Yo, I gotta get this mission complete." Like, you know what I mean? Pretty much. Yeah. It felt
like Batman.
Yeah, but you could tell I feel like some people said that they had issues with their romance. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I thought that romance
the same way. Like it just.
I felt the thing is there is issues with their romance, but I felt like that's Batman. Like there's always issues with his romance. That's how he is.
That's what I'm saying. They can only go so far. Like you know what I mean? I think this movie takes place within like a week. Like you know what I mean? So I could see like bro, people act like niggas don't be having one night stands and shit. Like you know what I mean? Like you could just fucking one night and call it a day. Like you could grow attached to somebody that is kind of like you. Like you know what I mean? They're both they're both very similar. Like you know what I mean? They both wear masks to hide their identity. They're both two different types of way. One way up front and one way in the other way. Like you know what I mean? Like they're both very similar. That's why I thought the scene at the end where they were both driving next to each other and then one took a left and one took a right, which is like shit. Like this movie is visually porn. Like that ass. Like some of the shots in this movie are so fucking clean. But yeah, like to continue what I was saying, that's why I felt like I could see them getting like attached, especially her. Like So she sees this nigga, and he's like, yo, this nigga's about action. Like this, bro, like this nigga, he's like, this nigga's with this shit. So I'm trying to chill with this nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course. So it's like, and he's one of the few niggas in the movie that don't hit on her. Like, obviously, she's gonna like someone be attracted to him. So it's kind of like, I feel like it was very believable, in my opinion.
Yeah, she liked Batman's Sigma energy.
Yeah, he was big blue pill type shit. I don't even know if I said the right pill, but yeah. So what's it called? All right, what else? Let's talk about. Yeah, visually, there's a lot of like symbolism in this movie. Like, it's really like crazy how like every person in this movie has an alternate agenda. Like, except for Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon, well, he's not really Commissioner, he's Officer Gordon or whatever. But like, he was like the most pure in this film. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was real. Like, he was on Batman's side the whole time. Like, and most of the times you would assume like, why would you believe this crazy nigga wearing a suit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like the fact that he trusted him is kind of like, yo, he knows when shit is looking foggy. Like, he knows niggas is acting crazy over here. Like, obviously, like, yeah.
I think with Gordon, he sees that Batman's kind of crazy, but he's not the crazy that's dangerous to the city. He's crazy in a way where like it helps the city in a way. Like, despite the fact that he has mental issues, he's doing good rather than bad. I think when you watch the movie, he realizes that, and then because you can also see that like he sees like why other police officers are mad. But at the same time, like, he has his own feelings on the Batman, because no one liked the Batman other than him.
Yeah, literally, like, you could tell, like, which was such a dope scene of the camera. It was just coming in and like everybody just looking at the camera, and they're like, what are they looking at? Like, but it's it's literally, you're seeing everybody's reaction to him. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's up with this nigga? Yeah. Only one cop had the balls to say something. Like, yo, stop. Where you going? Like, nobody wants to do shit. Like, you see a nigga like that, you don't talk to that nigga. You can't listen. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, the fact that one cop even had the balls to say something, it was just like, yo, niggas don't fuck with you, bro. Like, it's up to you. And then when they try to open his mask and he's just started fucking everybody up. Yeah. Yo, this nigga's real different. Like, yo, he is not a regular nigga, bro. Like, like, everybody was that scared of him. Like, that shit is crazy, bro. Like, so it's so fucking good, bro. It's so good, bro. I love it. I fucking love it, man. I can't. Like, it was hard for me a couple minutes ago to come up with all this shit. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could have cut down. So this shit was heat. From the beginning, nigga. I loved every fucking second of it. I wanna watch it again, nigga. Like, yo, it's coming out next month on HBO Max, and I'm gonna watch it again. Like, bro,
that's crazy.
Fucking.
That's crazy coming from me, because you never really rewatch movies like that.
Like, and the thing, that's the thing. Like, Batman is such a dope character that, like, it's so hard to fuck him up, like, honestly. So that's why with the Batman v Superman and like Justice League and shit, it's like, yo, the writing, it starts from the writing, like, you know what I mean? Like, how can you can't fuck up a character like that, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like it goes deeper than just like directing and shit, like, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, the way they're writing this character, it doesn't even make sense. That's so, Batman's is so dope, bro. Like, and like the fact that it's been how many Batman movies? Like 45 Batman movies, and this is the first time we've ever really seen him do some detective shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? That is crazy to me, bro. Like, that is crazy to think about. Like, how many fucking Batman movies there were. and this is the only time they've really done some real. He's done it himself by himself. He didn't ask nobody for help. Real detective work. Even what's his name? Alfred was like helping him out a little bit. Like he came up with some of the shit, but like he was really doing it his self though. Like, which is like, it's crazy, man. Like, and I find it funny that he was doing like video logs. Like he was like, "Oh, it's October 29th. I just fucked up 3 niggas on the West End." Or like he was just like talking about his day, like, and it was called the Gotham Project. Like it was crazy, bro.
But bro, in the comics, he does that.
That's what I'm saying.
He has a diary. He writes what he's thinking in his psyche and why criminals do what they do and why he does what he does, bro.
It's just all. It's like it really feels like this director, like he just pinpoint directly on Batman and like he hit it right on the head. Like you know,
because bro, even in the all the characters do that. All of his partners, Robin, all of them, Nightwing, all of them, they all have diaries and they talk. Like you see, like they talk in their perspective through their diary. Like, oh, this is my the so day of me being Robin. You know what I mean? So it really felt like it was staying true to the story of Batman. To be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like one of the main reasons I feel like I just enjoy everything Batman is because like my favorite character is Nightwing, like my favorite character of all time. Like it's every superhero, like it's Nightwing. Like I fuck with that nigga super hard, and I feel like one of the main reasons why I feel like he was my favorite, he's my favorite superhero to this day, is because he was. As a kid watching Batman, that's kind of like something like, yo, I can see myself becoming Batman, like growing up to be him. Mm-hmm. Like seeing Robin was like, yo, that's me. Like I could, so like Bruce Wayne can hit me up and I'll be like, let's get it, nigga. Like I'm with it. Like you know what I mean? Like so like the fact that as I grew up, like he grew up and he was like, yo, and he figured out like, and it's crazy because now like as an adult you're like, yo, Batman's crazy. Like, but as a kid you're like, oh yeah, let's go fight crime. Like and Nightwing went through that and he was like, bro, you're crazy, I have to leave. Like, you know what I mean? Like and he did his own thing and became his own dope superhero. It's like I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I feel like he's my favorite superhero. So like as on the fact that the reason why I watch every Batman movie is the hope and potential to see Nightwing one day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or Robin. Like, Robin is obvious. Robin, Nightwing. Like, but Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson's my favorite superhero of all time. Him specifically. It's kind of like he went through all the bullshit that Batman went through as a kid, watching his parents die, but he wasn't rich like Batman. Like the only blessing he had was Batman scooping him up as a kid. But like, that was, and then so he had that. He had like Batman teaching him to be great. Like it's like all these things that like built up to being for him to be like such a dope character. And then he fucking led the Teen Titans. He joined the Justice League. Like he just did so much other than like be a sidekick, which I feel like a lot of characters like. A lot of sidekicks, like I would say, like Falcon's like a sidekick, like you know what I mean. Like seeing him as Cap, it's like I don't want to see Dick Nightwing as Batman. I want to see him as Nightwing. You know? What I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of like.
So, who would you say is the best Robin? You would say him?
It's him. He's the only Robin that Bruce Wayne would trust to be Batman.
Oh damn! I thought that was Drake.
Tim Drake.
Yeah.
No, he's the best detective in the world. He is the best detective, but he's not a leader. Like you know what I mean? Like Dick Grayson, like he's literally like his like Bruce's son type shit. Like you know what I mean? Like, literally, he's heir to the throne. Other than obviously he has Damon Wayne, but like. You know, he's mad young.
Nah, Damon Wayne has a lot of issues.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like he can't be Batman.
Yeah, he can't be Batman.
You know, all of them. Dick Grayson's the closest to who can like if Batman died, like he could potentially take up the mantle, and he's done it a couple times in the comics too.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know what else you could talk about when it comes to Batman. It's a fucking great movie. I don't care what anybody says. This is gonna be the best movie of the year already. It's the third month. I'm willing to bet it. When it comes to acting, and when it comes to story, when it comes to cinematography, I feel like this is gonna be the best one. Like, Doctor Strange is gonna be like dope, obviously. Like, you know what I mean?
So, I just want to ask you a question because I was curious. Like, what do you think they're gonna do with the character? Do you think this Batman's gonna be in the Justice League or no?
I think because it did so well, it opens that potential up. But one, we know for a fact they're making another Joker movie, but this movie also confirms that this is a whole different thing because that Joker is not played by Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it kind of proves that like they're in their own universe, and also in this movie we don't see anybody with powers, so we can't just assume that that's in the same universe, until like maybe the next movie we might see somebody with powers, but we're just regular niggas. So, but they did confirm it's gonna be a trilogy. So whatever happens there, happens there. I don't. It doesn't have to be in that shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be in that shit. Just let it do its own thing. It could be another like another Nolan trilogy, just its own thing. Call it there. Yeah. Like we already have Batman in that universe, like because what's his name? The original Batman's gonna be in the Flash. I forget his name. Kevin Conroy, I think.
Yeah.
No, that's the voice actor. I forget. I don't know. I'm fucked up. But yeah.
Is it Spacey?
No, that's not him.
I'm thinking of someone else.
The nigga who played the Falcon in Homecoming.
I know who you thought. I know. I just don't know his name.
But yeah, he's gonna be Batman, and Ben Affleck's returning for that movie as well. I don't know if it's gonna be like if he's gonna continue, or I'm pretty sure he's done, but he's still coming in a new movie. So that's two Batmans in that movie already alone. Like, you know what I mean? So, and the Flashpoint is gonna be like a fucking a reboot, anyways. You know what I mean? Like at the end at the end it's gonna be like a whole different new universe and shit. Like that's what's gonna be. So yeah, just let him do his own thing. Keep this fucking director. Like if I ever keep this fucking director and keep the cast. Just another film with a new villain. I'll put it every single time. That's it.
Do you think that director is still interested in filming the series, like the Batman, or
he said he'll do a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
So, and Robert said he's down to do a trilogy too. So it's lit, Yeah. And I'm also happy that he confirmed that. He confirmed two things. One, that there was a scene with Batman and the Joker in this movie at one point.
Oh, okay.
But he cut it out. So people saw that this actor was in this film, and then a lot of rumors was going around like, yo, he's playing the Joker or whatever. But then he came out and he was like, nah, bro, I'm just like some security guard at Arkham. He obviously lied. He's the Joker, but there was supposed to be a scene between them two together, but he cut it so it was supposed to be like Batman was he was looking up clues to find out who the Riddler is, so he went to Arkham to talk to one like an old inmate that he knew or some shit like that, and the Joker was gonna be there and he was gonna be talking, but you couldn't see his face, like it was gonna be all shadows and shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, he cut it out because he was saying like he doesn't want it to be like confirmed like, yo, this is the next guy, like, you know what I mean? He doesn't like, he has no idea what the sequel's gonna be. Like, the whole point of putting him in there was to be like, there's other people here, like this isn't just like a one villain type movie, like there's other people, this is a lived in, breathed in universe, you know what I mean?
And that's how it is in the actual DC universe. Like, even though like Batman will show up to Arkham just to talk to Joker just for a couple of minutes about something, and then
So yeah, all right. So I feel like we talked about everything. What's it called? What's your rating, man? It's looking like 1 out of 10. What's up?
I'll give this movie a 9.8.
9.8.
Yeah.
I really want to give it a 10, but I feel like I can't even do that. That's not fair, bro. Like I don't think I've ever seen a 10 out of 10 movie. I'm one of those niggas. Like I've never played a 10 out of 10 game.
I mean, the reason why I gave it a 9.8 because like when I was watching the movie, it did feel long.
Yeah.
It did really feel really long, but it was good. It was a good movie, even though it felt long.
Yeah. I feel like the best score I could do. I feel like we could put it down to at least a 9.5. I feel like a 9.5 is a solid like. And even if you see it again and you bring it down to a 9 out of 10 is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. And you also gotta think about they made this movie during COVID. Like this movie was supposed to come out a while ago.
Yeah.
But like they were recording during COVID and a lot of people got sick. A lot of people like the director wasn't even there most of the time. Like he was telling them what to do through like speakerphones and shit. Like it was crazy shit. Like and it still came out this good.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shit's crazy to think about. But yeah, 9.5. I feel like that's fair.
Glamour of wearing diamonds.
Diamonds bring
Status.
elegance and prestige. Their brilliance makes